Hey, how you doing, folks? Chris Harris here. Another episode of Buck Sweet Sports Podcast, presented to you by 810 Studios Network. First time checking out the podcast. Appreciate you guys coming on. Please be sure to check out the Facebook page, Buck Sweet Sports Podcast. A lot of great content. Check out 810 Studios. So many great shows, so many great programs, so many great individuals running this thing. Please continue to give them support. Um, Definitely appreciate being a part of the family. Start 2024 off right. Um, so we're gonna go ahead and dive into it. Got a couple of different topics for y'all today, all ranging from high school to to college to pros. Majority local. If you guys want me to kind of branch out to you, if you got any questions about any other different teams, shoot me a message, shoot me an email like, hey John, hey Chris, what you think about this? Um, Definitely will definitely have no problem speaking on it. But go ahead and start off with prep sports. Shout out to Maris Williams, Clinton defensive lineman. Was down there in San Antonio this week, playing in the All American East West game. Had a great week in practice. Saw a lot of clips. A reporter, Auburn reporter for 247 Sports, was down there shooting at the practices. I mean, so every time Amaris, name popped up, man, he was, you know, winning reps, winning drills, just making highlights. Had a couple highlights during the game. Um, Fortunately, Eastern team fell 31-28. But I mean, him going down there and being selected for that game, going down there performing the way he performed, I mean, that's just speaks highly of him. He did a great job. Definitely look forward to seeing what he does at the next level. Checking him out at Auburn on Saturdays. One of the best high school football players I've had the privilege of watching wear the black and gold. So definitely gonna miss seeing him on out there for Clinton next year. But I mean, he's gonna be doing big things in the SEC. So shout out to him, man. He had a great week. Stick with prep sports real quick. We're gonna switch gears into basketball. Both Clinton varsity teams have started off the season hot. Shout out to girls basketball team, currently 6-1. Their next game will be, it's like they will be playing Union this Wednesday at 6 p.m. So uh, if you're not busy, definitely go check them out, support them. Off to a hot start. Shout out to Coach Owens and the Boys team is currently 4-2. They were scheduled to play East Duplin this evening. I don't see a final score for them, so I'll try to get that to y'all when I can. But like I said, currently 4-2, so off to a pretty solid start for them. Definitely, especially the last couple of years, they kind of been a little down. Only had 4 wins last year, so we're only a couple weeks into the season. They already matched their win total from last year, so that's looking good for them. They also too their next game is Wednesday versus Union, so yeah, definitely go out check out both boys and girls basketball teams. Man, they're off to a hot start. Love to see it. Love to see it. Uh, Shout out to former Clinton Dark Horse football player Chris Williams, currently a defensive back for UNLV. Made his announcement. He'll be entering into the 2024 NFL draft. For my diehards or anybody around here that remembers, man, Chris uh, had that great 2016 season as defensive back, man. He had, I want to say it was like 12 interceptions. Great two-way player. Did the same. Did his thing at quarterback too. Finished just short of 1,000 yards passing that season. I mean, kids scored touchdowns every which way you could think of. Great two-way athlete, one of the best two-way athletes. Uh, had a pleasure of watching these last couple of years, but he's been doing his thing in college. He's gonna get a chance to hopefully do his thing in the pros. Man, I really would love to see a team take a chance on him. So congratulations to him. Congratulations to his family. It's awesome to see. Clinton, North Carolina, representing the NFL draft. So definitely will be looking to hear his name get called. Uh, definitely blessing to see that. So once again, congratulations to him and his family. Switching gears, man, we're going to start talking about college. Just wrapped up. The college football national championship game just wrapped up. I wanted to wait to record this video so I could, kind of talk to y'all about that a little bit. I was going to kind of do a little pregame prediction thing, but I said I just want to wait to see how it turns out. And in my thought process leading up to the game, I felt like, two teams with two totally different styles. Michigan's more defensive, grinded out, running, strong running team, whereas Washington was, spread it out, throw the ball around, finesse type team. And uh, figured that if it was a shootout, it kind of favored Washington style more. But if it was more of a defensive, grinded out type game, it was going to be Michigan, and that's turns out to be exactly what it was. Washington had absolutely no answer for Michigan's running game. Both running backs for Michigan had over 100 yards rushing. Quarterback was able to run the ball effectively as well. Their defense stood tall, really slowed Penix down. They were able to come out with the win. So congratulations. If you're a Michigan fan, congratulations to Michigan. Great season for Jim Harbaugh. Jim Harbaugh is going to be a really, really hot name in this next coaching cycle in the NFL. Would love to see my Carolina Panthers kind of throw their hat in the ring, but I feel like more of the high profile coaches, serious coaches, uh, probably won't be one to deal with us too much, and I'll get into that a little bit later on in the show when I hit on my Carolina Panthers topic. But once again, congratulations to Michigan national championship, beating Washington 34-13. Uh, my Carolina Tar Heels moving to the Carolina Tar Heel football made a big staff addition this week. Unfortunately, for what I was talking about last week, doesn't look like Mac Brown's going anywhere. So I got to deal with the friendly old man for one more season. It's looking like, but he did make a pretty I want to say a pretty solid. It's gonna be kind of it's gonna be a kind of under radar type hire. It's not a big time sexy hire, but they did make a personnel change. Got rid of parted ways with Gene Chizik, which I mean a lot of people saw that coming. Just that defense never really really never lived up to what Carolina fans were expecting. They one of the things that we've harped on for the last couple of years, even going back to Jay Bateman, was how the defense played. Offense shouldn't have to score 30, 40 points to win a football game all the time. But yeah, made a change this week. They'll be bringing in Jeff Collins to take over the defensive coordinator position. Jeff Collins, he sat out. He didn't coach anywhere this last season, but his last coaching job, he was at Georgia Tech as the head coach from 2019 to 2022. Nicknamed the Minister of Mayhem, which I mean, okay, I like that. I mean, you earned yourself a nickname. That means you did something. You were doing something right. So for my Carolina fans that are a little iffy on the hire, I say don't focus too much on his head coaching, performance, which is pretty kind of less than stellar. But as a defensive coordinator, I mean, it's a solid hire. A lot of his defenses and different stats, ranked in the top 10 in a lot of categories some years during his time in Florida, Mississippi State, and FIU. Um, during his time at FIU, his defense led the Sun Belt Conference in total defense, scoring defense, and turnover margin. Um, during his stint at Mississippi State, where he was at Mississippi State from 2011 to 2014, but had them finish in the top five in the SEC in total defense. And I mean, we're talking about a defensive conference. It doesn't get any better than the SEC. So if he has some of his teams up there in stats like that in total defense, I mean that's definitely a good look. Same thing during his time in Florida. Uh, had a coached a lot of players that ended up being drafted. What else? 2015, his defense was the 17th in the last 20 years to not allow touchdown against three FPS Power Five schools. So, like I said, he's got a lot of accolades at these schools for as his defenses as a total, and that's what we need. Um, Total night and day between him and Gene Chizik, where Chizik was more that bend don't break type defense. Collins is has from what I've read, what I've heard about him, is aggressive style of defense. I mean, he wants to get after it. He's not going to sit back and play conservative. He's going to be aggressive, which I feel like that's one of the things that we need. I talked about last week about how North Carolina football always seemed to be, it's a culture thing. It seemed like we're always kind of just passive and we're finesse and we get beat up front on both sides of the ball. We're not aggressive. You know, Somebody coming in with his mentality, hopefully that's the type of stuff that kind of rubs off and really starts to kind of build. Like I said, we got to build that football culture up. Um, and like I said, he seems to have the type of personality and type of mentality and type of culture style that supports that. So I'm looking forward to seeing see what he could do, the improvements he can make, and hopefully just from a coaching standpoint, coaching these guys up, getting that aggressive that mindset in these guys, especially up front. But definitely looking forward to it. Like I said, I'm not crazy about the whole Matt Brown thing. Like I said, I feel like we needed a change from up top all the way down, but Collins could be a step in the right direction. So I'm willing to be patient with Mac. I mean, Mac Brown, he's a legend. He's earned it. So, let's just hoping some of Collins' aggression rubs off on the friendly old man. Man, you can't be out here patting NC State on the back every week, man, especially when they're throwing dirt on us. But staying with the same school, but switching sports, we're gonna talk about a little Carolina basketball real quick. Shout out to my Tar Heels, man. They're doing the thing on the court. Big victory Saturday over Clemson. Went down in hostile territory against a solid Clemson team. Really hyped up Clemson crowd and came away with a 65-55 victory. Clemson was coming into that game ranked 16. Carolina was ranked number 8, which since then we moved up to number 7 now. It's just a really, really solid conference win, man. That's the type of wins you want to see, at this point in the season, going into the heart of conference play. And like I said, you love to see that, especially coming away with a tough victory on the road. Um, but Mondo Baycock, you know, another solid game, led the way 14 points. RJ Davis was out there doing his thing. Seth Trimble, love Seth Trimble's growth over the last year. I know a lot of people were, he was one of the ones everybody was wanting him to transfer, but I'm glad he stayed. You could see the improvement with him. Uh, really tough on defense, so really glad he's still here. And just an all around good team win, man. This is the type of game last season. I feel like we would have dropped it. It's been a couple of those like that, but yeah, you can really see the growth in this team. You see the growth with Coach Davis. Team's looking really solid right now. Liking what I'm seeing. Big time game coming up Wednesday night, rivalry game. Uh, Traveling over to the PNC to take on those Wolfpack, who also coming into this game 11-3, ranked three, in the ACC. So that's going to be a big time game. Hopefully for us, man, we can finally get some of that, get some get back from football. I've been walking around here with a bad taste in my mouth the last couple of months, man. These state fans, they're rough. So uh, finally get a chance to get them back on the hardwood, man. So Wednesday night, that's gonna be a big time game. Definitely check. You want to check that out. But so far, like I said, really solid start for UNC, and just want to see them continue. So, like I said, these next two ones, I think we got NC State Wednesday, then got Syracuse on Saturdays. Like I said, just want to keep on seeing them perform well, and especially as we get deeper and deeper into conference play, going into February. And we know what happens next month. We know what happens next month. Yeah, baby, Battle of the Blues, baby. So you're definitely ready for that. We're gonna switch gears and head on to the pros, man. First off, man, congratulations if the team made the playoffs, man. Congratulations. Wild card Saturday coming up, wild card weekend. So uh, I don't know what that's like anymore. It's been, it's been a long time, man. But if your teams made the playoffs, congratulations, man. Don't football season go by way too fast? I swear, man. It's like you just it's August, July, August, getting started, and before you know, boom, it's over with. But yeah, my high school's already wrapped up. College played their last game tonight. So now we're in the playoffs for NFL. So I mean, if you're a football fan, man, take a breath, enjoy it. You only got a couple weeks left, man. And this is gonna be, nothing but talk and speculation for a couple months. So like I said, wow, big time weekend for sports, man. NFL playoffs this weekend. Talk about my Carolina Panthers, who are, of course, not in the playoffs. Uh, talk about David Tepper, man. David Tepper, he may be one of the wealthiest, owners in all the sports, but he may also be one of the worst. And I'm gonna get into it, man. Recently, Mr. Tepper had a run in it with a fan at the Jacksonville Jaguars game uh, last weekend, and whew, I don't know what the whole story was. There was just some heckling going on from the fans, but Mr. Tepper ended up throwing a drink on the fan. Now, if it was me, let somebody worth $2.6 billion, throw a drink on me in a football game. Yeah, man, I'm falling, slipping down the stairs, acting like it got in my eyes, and by the end of the day, I'm gonna own half the Carolina. That's just me, man. But I mean, just not the type of behavior you want from an NFL owner. I mean, you're sitting in a private box, man. Why are you worried about what some fans are saying? Close the window or just leave. Basically, just leave. I mean, you got to be smart, man. It's just an embarrassment, just a further embarrassment, to the organization when you got your owner, acting the way he's, acting like that. Uh, NFL ended up fining him, and they fined him 300,000. Which, like I said, man, the guy's net worth is $20.6 billion. So that's basically fine him like 25 cents, basically. I mean, nothing but a drop in the bucket for him. But like I said, man, that embarrassment, it goes a lot deeper than his pockets, man. I just feel like from a football standpoint, just he really needs to get someone. He needs to hire somebody that's you know, in charge of all the football moves. Because from a football standpoint, he's just hasn't really made a lot of good decisions since he's been the owner of Carolina Panthers. And it's crazy because he comes from being a minority owner in Pittsburgh Steelers, who, and I got a friend, he's gonna love to hear me say this, but Pittsburgh Steelers are one of the most well-run organizations, in my opinion, especially the front office. You just look at the consistency they have with their head coaches. I mean, Mike Tomlin, what's this? They said it's his 17th straight winning season. Like that's outstanding. I mean, so they always make great decisions as far as the coaching's concerned. Pretty much their front office is solid. Every year your team's not going to always perform the best, but you know they have a solid front office. And so I'm just wondering, you know, exactly what was David Tepper doing? Was he paying attention? I'm guessing he paid no attention to, how you run a football team, because he didn't learn nothing in Pittsburgh, because it's definitely showing here. But just bad decisions on top of bad decisions. I mean, going from the way the Ron Rivera era ended. I mean, all the stuff that Ron's done for this franchise. Firing him before the season was over with, that was wrong. The hiring of Matt Rule, the contract they gave Matt Rule, period. I mean, just all around, just sorry. And then the whole debacle with just some of the trades we've made. Of course, I know a lot of that falls on the GM, but I'm pretty sure Tepper's getting his. He's been pretty vocal. He's been giving his input, so I'm pretty sure he's he was a part of the process. Um, see what else? Like I said, some of the trades. The Steve Wilkes, the Steve Wilkes situation. I'm pretty sure he had a hand in that. Some of the stuff we done during the draft. Just the whole debacle with the practice facility in South Carolina. I mean, it's just been a lot of negativity since he's taken over. I mean, it's to the point where you actually miss, Jerry Richardson. All the stuff Jerry Richardson had going on behind the scenes. But I mean, David Tepper, for someone who came out and said that he's going to give, he's going to, put a winning product out there on that field for the fans, it's not happening, man. It's been a long, hard, rough road for us Carolina Panther fans, and David Tepper is a big part of that problem. Um, just calling it like I see it, man. It's you even with this 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 coaching cycle that's coming up. I mean, do you trust David Tepper to make the right decision when it comes to our new coach? And of course, they parted ways with Scott Fitterer earlier today, so we got to get a new GM. So head coach and GM, and this is the guy that's going to have the final say. I know he's got a agency in place to help with the search. So hopefully you got some good people, some good football people that are giving him guidance, and hopefully he listens, because I do not feel good about him making the decision by himself. So we'll see how that goes. But and then even then, how many of the serious, like I was talking about earlier, with guys like Jim Harbaugh, how many of the big time serious coaching candidates are going to take the Carolina Panthers seriously? Like, do you really want to go to a team that's fired? I'll say fired three head coaches before the season's even ended, because they didn't let Ron finish that season. They didn't let Matt Rule finish that season when they fired him, and of course Frank Wright. This past season. Do you really want? I mean, as a coach, do you really want to take a chance on David Tepper, seeing how the stuff was going on with David Tepper, how he's acted in the past? I mean, it's tough. I feel like a serious, the top guys aren't really going to be looking. Carolina's not an attractive, position right now. So it's going to be. I would Panther fans. I would tell y'all to kind of, you know, be careful with your expectations as far as head coaches, because like I said, it may be a guy that's not really really at the top right now, not one that's really being talked about because I feel like some of the big time guys are gonna be like, we're gonna request an interview, and they're probably gonna be like, I'm not wasting my time. So it's just it's gonna be a process, man. And it's so important. These decisions are so important because you know it doesn't have to be a 5, 6 year rebuild. If you hammer and you get the right guys in the right spots, you could turn this thing around quick. For example, look at the Houston Texans. The Houston Texans got they. I mean, y'all can say what y'all want about what they owners done in the past, but they got it right. They got it right. I mean, I know people are saying, "Well, that's rare," but it's possible. They're not the only team that's done it before. But just recently, you look at them last year, they were picking number 2 in the draft, one of the worst records in the league. I mean, top to bottom, just wasn't a good team. They nailed they nailed their head coach, they nailed their quarterback, they nailed the end of their draft period. Now they go from picking number 2 in the draft to not just making the playoffs, not just winning 10 games, but they won their division. I mean, that's a 1 year turnaround, man. So if you could just nail these, you gotta if you just win the off season, man, you can turn it around. And I look at the NFC South right now, and it's nothing scary about the NFC South. This is a division that probably one of the worst divisions the last 2 seasons. And these, I mean, prime for the taking. This is the time where you build up and take this. I mean, last year was more, just those injuries at the wrong time, especially on the defensive side, which led to that beatdown. The big, huge Mike Evans, Tom Brady game in Tampa Bay. But I mean, these last 2 years, the division has been right for the taking. I mean, this is the time where you make these moves and build up. And we just haven't made the right decisions. Like I said, we had the perfect candidate for head coach. I mean, Steve Wilkes was right there. The players wanted him, fan base wanted him. He was a Charlotte guy. I mean, he was the perfect guy for the job. And we passed on him. And I felt like it just, Frank Wright, and like I said, I gave it I gave it a chance because you looked at Frank Wright, he had history with the team, being the first quarterback. You saw the coaches he was bringing in. And I guess sometimes it's not good to have so many, I guess, solid coaches on one staff because I guess they talked about the Hunger Game type of you know culture that we had in the locker room. Which if you watch if you've seen the Hunger Games, you know what they're talking about. So I mean, we gave it a chance and it just didn't work out. I mean, it just all fell apart. But I mean, you shudder to think about what this could have been like if we retained Steve Wilkes. Too late to talk. Too late. It's too late now. That's something that we're not going to be able to go back to, and I wouldn't expect him to, you know, uh, take that L. And I mean, he deserved. I mean, he deserved it last year. He's not going to be the. He's not going to take your sloppy seconds. He's got an interview. I was reading where he's got an interview with the Chargers. So I mean, hopefully he gets a chance to show everybody where they made a mistake, especially us. We definitely made a mistake. And there's another situation out there that's a lot like the Steve Wilkes situation. Las Vegas Raiders, y'all better give Antonio Pierce that job. Antonio Pierce deserves that job. That team looked totally different since he took over. Like, I mean, even with the backup quarterbacks, they looked so much better after Antonio Pierce took over. And shout out to Zamir White, man. Zamir White local guy, Scotland High School. Really showed out his last couple games for the Raiders, man. But that's a situation that's real similar to Steve Wilkes. So, and I'm hoping that they've been paying attention. Like, okay, because I mean, like I said, I feel like Antonio Pierce kind of totally changed the atmosphere of that team, man. We talk about the effect and the mentality that coaches have on football teams, and Antonio Pierce, he's got it, man. I mean, he's got it. So hopefully he gets that opportunity. But we're hoping things change in Carolina, man. We're hoping something shakes out for us, and we're able to finally turn that corner, man. Because um, this has probably been one of the roughest seasons, man. Just watching the games every Sunday, just knowing what's about to happen. Uh, Lost now with 9-0 to Tampa Bay this last Sunday. That's 2 weeks in a row we've been shut out. We haven't scored an offensive touchdown in the last 7 quarters. Bryce Young was sacked 62 times this year. It's a franchise record. And before I end, I gotta talk on Bryce real quick, man. I was seeing comments on Carolina Panthers social media, and man, these social media pages for football teams sometimes are just ridiculous, man. I don't people just be saying anything. Uh, Bryce Young's height or weight was not an issue this season at all. He missed what, one game. You look at guys like Anthony Richardson and C.J. Stroud. They missed more games than Bryce Young. His height and weight aren't an issue. Yes, you want to see him get in the weight room this year, and that's just growth. Period. You want to see someone get build up. I mean, he can't do nothing about his height, but his height wasn't the problem. He wasn't out there, getting a bunch of balls batted down. The man had, no help at wide receiver, very limited help at wide receiver, and his offensive line was just like I said. He was sacked 62 times this season. It's a franchise record. We thought Cam was getting out there. We thought Cam was out there getting killed, man. But I mean, he stood up to it all year. So you can't question Bryce Young's, his durability or especially his heart to be out there making, still out there playing after, knowing with this offensive line, yeah, I'm gonna get hit. I'm gonna get hit. But I mean, and in the game yesterday, made a great play to extended the play, hit DJ Chark, nice, nice play. Had a big play. I mean, would have been inside the 5 yard line. DJ Chark just made a really, really low IQ play. Poor ball security, fumbles, tries to dive, fumbles out the back of the end zone. Tampa Bay takes over. That was 7 points off the board right there. It's Bryce ain't the problem. I mean, Bryce is going to get better, but you have to put something. Like I said last week, you got to put something around him. Like with that offensive line and the condition it's been in this year, and no one outside of Thielen could you know get separation consistently. You might have one or two plays where a guy gets loose, but for the most part, our wide receivers and tight ends gave us almost nothing this year. I mean, you gotta make a play for one of these free agent wide receivers coming out, somebody like a T Higgins, and you got to upgrade that offensive line. Like I said, I don't know what the issue is with Icky this year. Like I said, it could just be a sophomore slump. But like I said, I mean, Carolina won't pick till 33 in the second round. We don't have a first round pick this year unless something changes in the offseason. But if I'm picking at 33, I'm going offensive line. And I mean, best offensive lineman available. And if that means possibly, experimenting with, Icky and guard, I mean, so be it, man. Something's got to change, man. Like I said, I don't know a single quarterback that could operate, behind the offensive line that bad. and be effective. So for the fan base, for the Carolina Panthers fan base, stop focusing so much on Bryce's height and weight because he's already proved that's not an issue. And let's start, harping on offensive line improvements, wide receiver improvements, tight end improvements. That's where, that's where we're going to have to really hit hard this year in free agency and in the draft. But I'll talk more about that later on in the year, getting closer to that time of the year. But good good time to start wrapping things up, man. Like I said, man, I really appreciate everyone listening in. Like I said, any topics, anything you want me to speak on, please shoot me a message, shoot me an email, comment below. We can talk about it. Like I said, I'm here for y'all. I love bringing this content, love talking sports. Like I said, it's a little different. Like I said, for my previous listeners, man, it's a little different. Getting away from prep sports, but like I said, man, it's the off season, man. Especially high school, man. High school, we're not really going to have too much to talk about till around June, July, August time frame. So, like I said, I'm just branching out a little bit, but shout out to and we will have some seniors, some more seniors that will be making their college decisions soon. So definitely looking forward to that as far as the Clan guys go. Uh, but yeah, hope everyone has a great, productive, and blessed week. Um, definitely take some time, check out the games, check out the Tar Heels Wednesday night, check out all those great playoff games. This weekend's gonna be, oh yes, I mean it's we not in it, but man, I always love playoff football, man. It's always something special. You're gonna see something special Saturday and Sunday, so definitely take time, check it out. We'll be talking about it next week. So until next time, it's Chris Harris, Buck Sweet Sports Podcast, A10 Studios. Y'all have a great night.